Has your DTF printer stopped printing the way that it used to? Has it been a couple days, weeks, months since you've last used it and your print test is failing when you do a nozzle check, just like this? Well, it's possible that the head of your printer is bad. That's the case for me. In fact, I worked with the support team for ProColored to really determine it, and I'll walk through the steps that I walk through with them to triple and quadruple check that it is the head before we figured that out. It's really not a difficult process to go through to replace the head of your printer. It should just take a handful of minutes. It's an expensive piece though, so you want to make sure that you take care when doing it. Today's video is going to walk you through step by step from what to look for to know for sure that the head of your printer is clogged, to how to replace it and getting back up and running after the fact. My name is Patrick, this is Creative Workshop. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go ahead and take a look at what to look for to know whether or not your printer head is clogged and how to fix it. So I have done head cleaning after head cleaning, and let's see, I might have to bring you in a little closer. You can see that I don't have a full printout of white there in the middle. And that's a problem. So because of that, we obviously don't have everything that we need. It's supposed to be CMYK, and actually yellow is a little hard to see, but it's over here at this side. We got the rest of them. But you can see that white specifically is missing in there. There we go, that should look a little better. And that right there tells us, okay, it's possible that the head is bad. Well, how do we know if the head is bad or not? The easiest way to tell, and this is what I did with the support agents, is come on over here. And you're going to want to take your two whites out, since that's what's not printing, put them into another area, take those, put them back. So that way we know whether or not it's the white ink or if it is the print head. And so by doing that, you are going to have to most likely replace your ink sacs and different things of that nature, since you're going to be mixing other colors into the white. But when I did that, when I put my white inks over here with the magenta and the cyan, put the magenta and the cyan over in the white ink area, if it was not my print head, then I should have had a perfect print experience. I should have had my white ink not flow where magenta and cyan is, and I should have had the magenta and cyan flow well where the white ink is, or everything should have worked well. And at least for me, that was not the case. Magenta and cyan did not flow at all, and white ink flowed beautifully where the magenta and cyan were. So I got some new ink sacs, I put everything back the way that it should have been, and I ran another couple dozen really head cleanings. I ran power flushes, I did everything that I could to try to get this print head back to life, and it just didn't work. So in doing those steps with support, we determined that it was the print head that went bad. Now this printer has been provided by ProColored, so that way I can do videos for you guys. This is not a staged video at all. My print head legitimately went bad. Even though I was keeping up with the maintenance, I must have missed a day or two, and so the print head went bad. And so they did send out the printer. They sent out the print head. That does not change my opinion on anything with the printer. They don't get to preview this video before it goes out. They don't have any input on it. I just want to be upfront with you guys and tell you that. Now, there are some tools being developed to clean print heads, and this head that's going to be coming out of the printer, I'm going to keep it. So that way, once those tools are out and I eventually pick one up, I can see if that fixes the broken print head here, the clogged print head. But for now, we're going to work on getting the print head replaced. So I'm going to move the camera and we're going to dive right into replacing this print head. Start with, we're going to hold the ink button over here so that way it goes into an ink cleaning mode. And this is to get the carriage to unlock so we can move it freely. So we're going to let that move. And as soon as the carriage moves over into the middle, we're going to hit the main power switch on the back. So now it is unlocked, and as you can see, we can move the carriage freely. I'm gonna remove the front tray off of mine, so that way we're good there. And we're gonna take a look at what we've got here. So in the package I got from ProColored, we have a brand new print head. And don't touch down there with your fingers. I'm gonna leave this in the box that it came in until I am ready for it. But I'm gonna grab a little bit more light over here and we will dive in. Okay, to start out, we're gonna have to take this piece here off. And you need to be very careful as to not damage the ribbon cables, but that has to come off so that way we can get the print head out. Next, we will take all of the ink sacs off. And then really, before you take the ink sacs off, you should do this, but we're gonna do it now because I forgot to do it before. But you need to take this little piece off right here. You can just kind of lay the ink sacs out of the way. And so I don't lose the screw, I'm going to put it right back into place. Just keeps this stuff screwed down so I don't lose it. And now we are going to take and actually remove the print head. So I've got a different screwdriver for that. You've got 3 screws that will have to come out. One right here, one back here, and one right here. Set these screws off to the side, and now your whole print head just lifts right out. And that's why before we did anything, we wanted to make sure and remove this piece here because that held stuff in. And now we have these, which according to the video should just pull right out. Those are out now. Print head is out, and you can just kind of set this off to the side. Got a little envelope here so that way it doesn't stain anything below it. This ink is water soluble, so if it gets all over stuff, that's okay. You can clean it up. Something that they do recommend doing though is taking and wiping down the contacts to make sure that the contacts are clean. So we'll wipe down the contacts. And then this is ready to go into the new printer. Now, something I should have done before, we did turn the power off, but make sure to unplug your printer. You can see, well, you can't see there, but it is now unplugged. I should have unplugged that earlier, made the mistake there. It was off though, so you should be fine. And now we grab our new print head. New print head has the same connections on it, and these just press in. So this top one just will move this out of the way and just press that in and press this in. There's no retaining clip on these, so you really just have to press it in. You will feel it kind of seat in there. In fact, I'm going to make sure this other one is seated correctly. You'll feel it press in and seat, and so that gives that. And now print head just gets lowered down into place. Make sure that your cables tuck. And if you need to, you can undo that one. So that way all of them can tuck at the same time. And then if you do have issues with your cables, ProColored does give you all of the cables that you're gonna need to run. To rerun stuff, I'm reusing my old cables because the old cables were working just fine. And now we put these screws back in. Don't over tighten these screws, as these screws are going into plastic, so you don't want to strip them or you have to replace the entire carriage. But the screws just simply go back into the place that you pulled them out of. There we go. And we will loosen this up once more. So that way, these can come and lay back in. If you're not sure what order they go in, it is printed. I'll throw a picture up for that on what it should look like, but it is printed there for you. And I'm going to insert these, and then I'm going to replace my 2 white ink sacs one more time. It looks like they have a little bit of staining on there, so I'm going to grab some new ink sacs and get those replaced. Well, and looking in my supplies, I actually don't have any other ink sacs, so we're just going to go with it. It shouldn't affect us. So we're just going to sink all of these on here, and then we go magenta, and then cyan as our last. And from here, we have our screw, which I just dropped. Let me find that, and I will be right back. Okay, well, I've got to find that screw, but in the meantime, we're going to take one of the screws from the front plate and put it up there just to hold things in place. They're all the same. I'll take the machine apart here in a little bit to find that missing screw. This is one of those cases where be a little bit more careful than I was there, and don't let those screws fall. Now off camera, I have checked to make sure that we're not going to short anything out with that screw. Everything looks good, so I'm taking that risk again. Don't do as I do with that part, but now we're going to put this clip back over this, and with that clip in place, we are now ready to power the printer back up. So we are plugged back in, and we are turning on. Going to connect it to the computer. Everything now should go through and do its startup procedures. It should run through and do a head cleaning, kind of like it's doing now, but I'm gonna run through 1 or 2 manual head cleanings as well, just to make sure that everything is good and we have some good ink flowing, and then we will do our first nozzle check and see and compare that nozzle check with the one that we did earlier. At this point, we will run, I've run a couple of head cleanings just to make sure that ink has been flowing, and we're going to now run a nozzle check. So we've got everything set up there. Time to see how this comes out and make sure that we're going to look good. Bring you in for a closer look. And as you can see there, everything is looking fantastic. We've got one small break right there, which another nozzle cleaning should clean up. And then yellow is there, just hard to see. But yeah, everything looks good. So this is a success. It really is that easy to replace the print head on your L1800 printer. Really, hands-on time was less than 15 minutes. That was with showing you guys what I was doing and losing that screw. I'll find that screw at some point. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of time. It doesn't take a whole lot of hassle. You just have to have the new print head. So hopefully you found this video helpful. I know that I'm really excited to have my printer back up and running. And I'm looking forward to doing more videos of putting it into vacation mode and different things with DTF as time goes on. But for now, I've got to get back to printing. I hope you have a great one. If you like this video, leave me a thumbs up below. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop a comment down there as well. I do my best to respond to just about every comment. And I hope you have a great one. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.